Good morning, guys. When we look at the power of our minds and we understand and believe with all our might that it is the most powerful thing in the universe, how can we talk about it in anything other than a positive sense? The word mental, mind, look them up in the dictionary. Actually, I've posted them today. Unfortunately, the word mental has generated a negative connotation or has a negative connotation with it, and there's a stigma associated with it, whether we like it or not. And yes, it has its proper purposes and uses, but I think it's time. It's time for a new paradigm, our new paradigm, and that is the paradigm of mind health, not mental health. Because when you're down, when you're feeling already that there is no hope for you, the last thing you want is anything but positivity. That's the true cure for it all. Have a great day, everybody.
Once you make that willingness to change, the book falls off the shelf, or the teacher shows up in a form that you could have never imagined. Or you hear something on the radio, or you meet a cab driver, or some enlightened conversation comes into your realm that all of a sudden is that shift that you needed to make that change and create that catalyst that becomes your greatest accomplishment, your greatest shift. And so that's all we need at first, is that slight willingness. That willingness that I had, that desire to change, that moment to shift, was all I needed to become the woman I am today, to live that life beyond my wildest dreams. And so when I became ready, I opened up and I said, okay, I'm ready for change. But what's beautiful and what's the main purpose of what I teach is that once you make that decision to change, you do not have to do it by yourself. You cannot be expected to make these changes on your own. All you need is that slight willingness.
You're not changing because you're trying to do everything yourself. You're trying to do it all alone. You can have a moment of inspiration, a moment of, this is the day, I'm going to change it all. And then when your environment and the people around you don't support you in doing it, and you're doing it all alone, you lose momentum. The next day, that momentum is gone, and the next day, the momentum is absolutely zero. You ever been there? Until you get the people around you to support you, to create a circle where you can feel like you do not have to do this alone, you won't change. And you'll stay stuck knowing that you're capable of more and frustrated with yourself at the lack of momentum. I run this challenge inside my Mover Makers program, and every month we have to talk about a certain topic. Mover Makers is for thought leaders. It's people who they have a message, they have a mission, they want to get out to the world. Your story matters. Let's get it out there and go. Come on. But it's really hard to share your story, and it's really hard to make videos, and it's really hard to put yourself out there. And you have these moments where you want to do it and you feel on top of the world, like, yes, I'm ready. And then what? Then all the insecurities and fears and doubts creep in. And as I was noticing people in Mover Makers not making enough content, I decided to do a challenge. And the challenge is once a month, we pick a topic. And this month's topic is courage. And what you have to do is make a solo video that's 10 minutes long. You have to make a lead magnet to help grow your business. And you have to do 3 collaboration videos. And most people do Instagram lives to collaborate with each other. And all of a sudden, people who took up the challenge started making content. All of a sudden, the excuses went away. I don't know what gear to buy. I don't know what camera to use. I don't know what microphone. I don't know what to talk about. My story's not good enough. I'll start next week. I'll start next year. I'll start next month. I'll start on my birthday. I'll start on January 1st. I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month, right? All of the excuses all of a sudden went away because you're not doing it alone. Because all of those reasons that are holding people back, that are holding you back, what you want to do something bigger. All of the reasons that are actually holding you back are not the logical ones that are in your head, right? The idea that you're not making content because you don't know what phone to use or what camera to use or what. I'm making these videos for my channel on my phone. I'm in my car at my wife's acupuncturist. She's getting acupuncture done right now in the building right next to me. And so I'm making content in my car. You can too, right? There are logical reasons why you are not doing the thing that you want to do, right? That you say is important to you. There's logical reasons that you are buying. You believe them. They are actual reasons, but they're not good enough reasons. And underneath those reasons why you're not doing the thing that you need to do is just that you're afraid. It's just fear. And suffering through fear alone is really, really hard. It's not that it's not possible. It's not that you can't do it. It's just immensely difficult. And most people won't. Most people won't follow through. Most people don't follow through because they are alone in this journey. You might have people around you. You might have great parents, friends, a spouse. But if you feel like you're walking the journey all by yourself, it's just insanely difficult to actually follow through and get the results that you want. The good news is you can change it, right? The good news is, hey, we don't have to stay stuck. The good news is you can change your circle. And I'm going to share a couple ideas in this video of how to do it. So, number one, I like to collect good people. Collect good people. Think about the people around you in your life. How many of them make you feel happier, more energetic, more positive? And you may not have many people. You may not have someone like that. Great. Think about the people who you've ever met. Maybe it was at a conference, maybe an event, maybe a lunch or dinner, some kind of party, a friend of a friend. I find ways to spend more time with good people. I remind myself that I like to collect good people. And as someone who's shy and introverted, that's not my default state. I don't think to call people. I don't think to message people. I don't default to being around people. But when there's somebody whose energy I really love and I leave the conversation feeling more uplifted than when I went in, then I try to find ways to spend more time with that person. And maybe it leads to a business, maybe it leads to some kind of opportunity, maybe it just leads to another conversation. But think about the people who you have met at some point in your life. Maybe not the people around you right now, but an old high school friend, or again, somebody at an event or a club or some meeting that you met that you really like their energy and their vibe. I'll lean in on the awkward and say, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee? I'd love to learn more about your story. Or I really love your energy. Do you want to go and get some lunch together? It feels super awkward, but chances are they need somebody too. And if you be the first one to do the outreach and say, hey, I'd love to learn more about you. So these are people who you don't really know that well, but you'd like to. And you can even say that when you're talking to them. Hey, I don't really know you that well, but I'd like to. And lean in on the awkwardness. Be the first one to go off and do it. So think about the people in your network, people who you have met, one-off meetings, who filled you with that positivity, and fight for more time with them. Because if you had 4 people and you met everybody once a month, that's once a week now. You're meeting some amazing human. Whether it's coffee, whether it's lunch, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's actually forming some kind of business together, there are people who you've come across who are the support that you need. And you need to do the outreach to say, hey, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better and spend a little more time with you. Lean in on the awkwardness, collect good people. That's number 1. 2 is change your environment to be around the people even if you can't meet them. So watching this video is a great example. Watch this video. Did you wake up this morning and you're like, yeah, my gosh, so amazing. Let's go crush the day. Probably not, right? I didn't. If you did, then I am super jealous of you. You probably woke up and you're tired and you're looking at your phone and what's on my calendar for today, and immediately some of the limiting beliefs and thoughts and attitudes popped in your head. And so if you can't be around the people every day, the collected people, if you can't be around them every day, then you can be around them virtually. through videos, through YouTube, through books, through social media. Follow the people who make you feel better about yourself and make you want to go off and conquer your goals. Most of the time, when people are spending time on social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc., how much of that time is spent actually learning and being inspired versus wasting time? How many times have you opened your phone, went to a social media app, and all of a sudden 40 minutes went by, you didn't even notice because you're just scrolling, right? Has that happened? That's not what you want to do. Don't lean in on that, right? Audit right now. Audit who you are subscribed to on YouTube and who you're following on Instagram. And ask yourself, do these people make me feel better about myself or not? Do I leave feeling more inspired than when I came in? And if no, then unfollow those people. And good news, there's lots of amazing people. Not just me, there's tons of amazing people who are making amazing content. And whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to get more into, when you can surround yourself, even in a social media environment, if you wanted to work out more, if you followed a whole bunch of fitness people who are working out constantly, people who are not making excuses for why they can't get to the gym today. If you followed all those people, it's now in your environment. You'll start to see it more often. It'll become that daily reminder for you, and you're more likely to go to the gym and work out. So whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, whatever your goals are, choose to follow the people who are achieving those goals, who are living that, because it's not your identity yet. And for them, it is. And the more you're around that, they will suck you in to be like them. So choose very carefully what you want to get sucked into, right? It can also lead down a really negative, dark path, right? Whoever's more confident in their beliefs wins. So if you're around people who are strongly believing in something that is bad or evil or against your core values, you could be sucked down a really dark negative hole as well. So step one is collect good people. Step two is to be around them, be around in social media with intention, the people who make you feel better about yourself and go achieve your goals. And then step three is to join some kind of community, join some kind of group who are focused in on what you're trying to do. So if you want to get into fitness, then you can hire a coach to help you, a fitness trainer, or join a gym, or join some kind of collective where you feel like you don't have to do this by yourself. Why Movement Makers is so special is because if you want to be a thought leader, where do you go? Where do you go to hang out with other thought leaders? Right? Nowhere. Do you know anybody who's a thought leader is trying to make great content and share it and have a message to give to the world? Who else that you know in your life talks like that? Probably not, right? So being around that and whatever it is that you want to learn, you want to be better at chess, then join a chess club and hire a chess coach. Be around the people. Be around the people. Join some kind of community so you don't have to do this all alone. One of the things that I struggled the most with is feeling like I have to come up with all the ideas myself, carrying everything on my back. And what I realized very later in my entrepreneurial journey, right? I mean, I'm 40. How old am I now? 40. I'm almost 42 when I'm filming this video. My first real business in entrepreneurship when I was 19. So it's been a while, 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur, not including like garage sales and that kind of stuff. And one of the hardest things for me was just not trying to have to do everything myself, not putting all the pressure on myself to have to do everything all by myself. I like to say in Movement Makers that 1 + 1 = 4,000. Like you come in, and not just Movement Makers, but anytime you do this, any club you join or group you join, especially if you're a giver, givers have a hard time asking. But when you're with other givers, they want to pour into you. They want to give to you. They want to see you win as well. So you come in hoping to get something. And then when you get that, plus you can contribute to other people and what they're doing and see that you're showing up for them, also allows them to go off and accomplish their goals. It's just such a great cycle. And it's such a weight lifted to know that you don't have to do everything all by yourself. So you could be willing to change. You could have these great ambitions and great ideas of who you could be and who you want to be and the impact that you want to have. But it's not going to happen until you realize that you can't do this alone. Stop trying to do this alone. Stop trying to do everything yourself. You can change. People will support you, but it's on you to collect good people, to audit who you follow on social media, and to join a group of people who are like-minded. If you want to make one single change this year that will have a tremendous impact on the growth of you actually accomplishing your goals, decide to not do this alone anymore. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good morning, everyone. Today, top 10 rules for success. Robert Kiyosaki shares some amazing wisdom again. One of the rules that he talks about is we have to change the way we think. And here's a guy who has mastered the art of investing and growing his money and helping people do that, find that sort of financial literacy that we all should have. And his greatest advice, and I love it because again, it goes back to using our minds, is he says he paid himself first. And what that means is he bought assets. He invested in things like houses. The greatest thing he invested in was himself and the way he thought. He changed the way he thought. We can all change the way we think. We have to think about paying ourselves first, even if we've got nothing, even if we're in debt, even if things are not going our way. We have to remember we have the greatest asset in the world right here. So we have to change the way we think and not let fear stop us. Have a great day, everybody.
Everything is possible, when you believe. That's the kind of kicker. You have to believe, but it's not that hard. It's really pretty easy. Our belief creates our entire life experience. And so you can't, if I put it this way, you can't experience anything in life that is outside of your own beliefs. So, and that's the case for every single one of us. We really can't experience anything that's outside of our beliefs. If we can't experience anything that's outside of our beliefs, what that means is, look at all those hearts, that's so beautiful. What that means is there's not really one world. We kind of think there's one world, but there isn't really, because we're all experiencing a world based on our beliefs, and not one of us has the same beliefs, not one of us. So that means there's a different world for every one of us. So all of your beliefs are held in your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is just a part of your mind. There's the conscious mind, and then there's the subconscious mind, which is actually higher than the conscious mind. And so we use our conscious mind with all of the thoughts and everything that we have. Our conscious mind is very present, right? And so to create anything, you are using your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is really what creates. If I want to make it really, really simple, then I would say your subconscious mind is what creates. It makes things appear and manifests things. And that's where all of your beliefs are stored. Kind of neat, huh? Because you have to believe to manifest something, and your subconscious mind creates everything. So you can see it's all kind of perfectly designed. So now to manifest, you have to believe. And you have to believe that you already have whatever it is that you want. And the reason that you have to believe you have it already is because the subconscious mind is only operating in the present. It can't reason. It's just like a program. So if you say, for example, a new car is coming. My new car is coming. I'm going to get a new car. It's coming. Well, then it's always going to be coming, right? That's the thing. You have to imagine you have it now. You have to go off and you have to test drive the car. You've got to feel the car, smell the car, and just then visualize being in that car. And then when you do that, that's how, if you do that enough, that's how you'll come to believe that you actually have the car. And the moment that you believe, there's manifestations instantaneous. So the other ways to believe is to affirm over and over and over. So to be really repetitive, for example, to visualize, and visualizing is incredibly powerful, because when we close our eyes and we put ourselves in the picture, and you must make sure you're in the picture, and you put yourself in the picture with whatever it is that you want, and you close your eyes and you just kind of create this mini movie. Honestly, the subconscious mind does not know that you're imagining it, has no idea. It just sees that movie and recreates it. It's like a giant photocopying machine. It will just, whatever you hold in your mind, it will photocopy it, boom, into the world. So if you are thinking about something in the future, it's always going to be in the future. So you have to imagine that you have it now. You have to act as if. And for example, if you wanted to attract a perfect partner, are you acting as if your perfect partner's here already? And so there are just small things that you can do that are super, super powerful. For example, are you sleeping in the middle of your bed, or are you sleeping on one side of the bed because your partner's on the other side of the bed? Do you have room in your wardrobe for your perfect partner's clothes? Is there room in your bathroom for their toothbrush and for their things? And so you see, they are just little things. You can set the table for two. You don't have to put food on the plate, but just setting the table for two is really, really powerful. It's saying my perfect partner's here already, and the subconscious mind will believe it, and your perfect partner will be attracted to you through the most incredible circumstances. So if something hasn't manifested yet and you really, really want it, and I doubt there's anybody out there who wants something and it hasn't manifested, right? I mean, I'll tell you the reason why it hasn't manifested is because you don't believe you have it.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back: a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know you've got something more inside you. You've got Michael Jordan level genius at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn how you can magnetize yourself towards money. Enjoy. Rule number 2, stop forcing outcomes with Gabby Bernstein.
True manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all. This is probably one of the most profound ways to look at life. When we stop expecting things to be the way that we think they should be, when we stop forcing outcomes, and when we start allowing what is of the highest good to be our only agenda, our only intention, that's when the universe truly has our back. That's when we can live what it means to surrender. True surrender comes when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start connecting and grounding in what could possibly be of the highest good for all. And when we stop praying for what we think we need and we start allowing what is of the highest good for all. So true manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all. And it begins not just with how will I get what is of the highest good, but how can I be open to what is of the highest good? How can I open up my consciousness to release what I think I need and get grounded in what is possible and what is of the highest good, not just for me and my agenda, but the highest good for all. That's the message. So you're doing everything right in that you're open to a spiritual practice, you're willing to grow, you're showing up for your practice, you're reading books, you're doing the work, you're here on Dear Gabby, you're showing up, you're showing up, you're showing up. You're doing a lot of doing though, and you're also doing a lot of expecting. And so a lot of doing and a lot of expecting are two major blocks to your ability to attract what it is that you want into your life. And so it's the doing that actually creates sort of a manic manifesting vibration, which is, how do I get that? What do I do next? Got to do this thing next. Got to do this thing next. And that lacks the belief system that I can be still and I can allow. That's number one. Number two, being in the expectation of what you think things should be is another block to your manifesting power and your super attractor power, which is what I call it, because your expectations are limiting the possibilities. Your expectations are limiting the highest good, as this card says. So when we start to pray for what is of the highest good, rather than intend and pray for what we think we need, that's when the universe can conspire with what it is that is of the highest good for all. So ultimately what's happening is all the doing is energetically blocking. And all the expecting is blocking the manifestation as well, because when you're in this tunnel vision of expectation, it should be this way. I should be further along. I shouldn't be here. What's happening is you're missing the opportunity to recognize where you are, how great things are in this moment, what is possible in this moment, the creative possibility in this moment, the exciting potential in this moment. You're blocking it. I want you to sit on your ass. I want you to stop doing. I want you to start being, which is what you also said. You're actually Dear Gabbying yourself. You said, I want to embody the feeling. I want to embody the emotion. The being is a presence. It's an energy. It's a state. It's not an action. True manifesting does require us to show up for our desires. You got to pick up the phone and then call the job interview, and you have to ask for the date, and you have to do whatever it is that you want to create. But ultimately, the greatest source of power that we have to attract what we want is how we feel.
Rule number 3, train your brain with John Assaraf.
So many people ask me, is it possible to train your brain to help you make more money? And the answer is yes. So maybe I can share a story with you of how I started to train my own brain to help me make more money. And it started with setting some goals for the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live. And my mentor, Walter Schneider, many years ago, was a very, very successful businessman. And he said, in order to achieve your goals, he said, first you have to have the clarity of what they are. So let's say you have a financial goal of making, let's say $100,000 a year. Okay, that's about $8,500 a month, or about $2,150 every week that you want to earn. And let's say you're not earning that right now. One of the things you can do to train your brain to help you make that amount of money is, first and foremost, get clear on the exact amount you want to earn, whether it's per week, per month, or per year. That's step number 1. Step number 2, create a simple affirmation that goes like this. I am so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now earning $10,000 a month. Simple affirmation. And what I want you to do is I want you to read that affirmation every single morning 5 to 10 times, and every single night before you go to bed 5 to 10 times. And as you read that affirmation, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to practice, mentally rehearse you receiving that money in the form of a check or cash or in your bank account, and see the money going into your bank account. I want you to feel what it feels like to consistently have $10,000 a month coming into your bank account. And you can choose whatever amount you want, by the way. And as you close your eyes and you visualize that money coming into your account, what I also want you to visualize is the impact that that amount of money will have on your life, your family's life, your friend's life, the community that you live in, and the charities that you want to support. Get totally into a mental movie and the emotions as if you were a Hollywood actor or actress pretending that that was really happening. So you'd read your affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now earning $10,000 a month. And as you do that and you repeat that, mentally rehearse, visualize what that looks like. And what that does is that primes your brain to see and feel as if it is real right now. And that activates the different parts of your brain, specifically the left prefrontal cortex, which is the genius, CEO, Einstein part of your brain that can actually help you figure out how to achieve that goal and dream. So if you do that in the morning and at night before bed, morning upon waking up, nighttime before bed, you will start to prime your brain with an affirmation, with a mental rehearsal, and you will cognitively prime your brain. And if you want a bonus step, what I want you to do is take a vision board, either on your computer or a physical board, and cut out some pictures of what lifestyle earning $10,000 a month will allow you to live. What kind of car would you drive? What kind of places would you go vacation in? What kind of home would you live in? What kind of charities would you support? Get pictures of the outcome of earning $10,000 a month is, or $100,000 a year, and start to see yourself in that scenario and act as if it is real right now. And then every day ask yourself a question: what can I do today to make that amount of income a reality? And take one or two action steps towards making that a reality. So the physical actions, in addition to the mental rehearsal with affirmations and mental rehearsals, visualizations, is one of the best ways to start priming your brain to achieve the financial goals you have.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 4, have a vision with Jack Canfield.
You can't be successful without a vision and being clear.
Well, you have to first take 100% responsibility for your life, give up being a victim, then you have to get clear about what is my purpose. I believe each person has a purpose they were born with, whether it's to be a mechanic or a chef or to be a doctor or to do what we do, which is empower and enlighten people through the work we do. And so once you've got that, you have to have a clear vision of what would you like your life to look like, both in the business world, in your social world, in your relationships, your health and fitness, your travel and fun, all of that. So we have 7 areas of your life, which we say, let's pretend that you can have anything you want, no holds barred. You know, God comes down and says, you're chosen, you won the lottery, you get the life you want, what would you do? And you go, oh, I'd like to live in this house in Malibu, I'd like to live on the ocean, I want to have 3 kids, I want to be able to travel to Europe 5 times a year, you know, whatever it is, write it down. And then using things like visualization and affirmations, you can start turbocharging that vision with intention, and then some of the tools that come out of the law of attraction work and so forth. But you first have to know where you're going. I liken it to a GPS system in a car. Here we are in Santa Barbara. Right. You live in LA somewhere.
Windy roads to get back here.
Yeah, but if you have a GPS and it says 929 Via Fruteria or whatever, your GPS system will tell you how to get there. Now, when you left LA, you did not know exactly where you were going. You just trusted a GPS to say turn left, turn right, turn left. Your subconscious mind works the exact same way. It is a programmable GPS system that will figure out the path if you program it correctly, which is putting in a vision of the destination. That's all you have to do.
Interesting. But a lot of people feel a lot of fear because they're of the unknown of what's going to happen or that they might fail if
Yes.
they have a big dream, right? So what is fear to you, and how does someone overcome that fear?
Well, here's the deal. You know, basically, fear is. I love this word. The guy who wrote the book, Dune, said, "Fear is the mind killer." Fear takes you back into the amygdala, which is in the limbic system of your brain. You want to be in the prefrontal cortex, which is where the executive functions, where spiritual insights, where wisdom occurs, where rational, logical thinking occurs. So basically, as soon as I get into fear, I go back into this primal fight or flight or freeze place. And so I want to be up here. So, you know, basically, we now have technology called EFT tapping. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Nick Ordner
Yep.
and all those guys. And literally 9 acupuncture points, you tap on those in a sequence for maybe 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and the fear disappears. It literally dissolves. There's absolutely no reason for anyone to be in fear. Now, the value of setting a goal is to watch all these fears come up. I refer to it as you ever played the game Whack-A-Mole at the mall?
Yeah.
You got heads come, you got to whack them before they go back down. So we want to surface those fears so we can whack them using EFT and other technologies that are out there, neuro-linguistic programming and so forth. But now we have this science that just literally you don't have to be stopped. The other thing, a friend of mine just wrote a book called the Fear Cure, or The Cure for Fear, one of those. And she talked about one of the biggest fears is of the unknown and uncertainty of the future. But everything's uncertain. You know, we're trying to create certainty in an uncertain world and stop being afraid of uncertainty. Uncertainty is what's exciting.
Right.
If you go to Africa on a vacation, a safari, you have no idea what's going to happen. That's part of the adventure.
It's fun.
That's part of the fun,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you knew, oh, there's going to be a zebra that pops out right here, and this is going to be next,
That's
it might
right.
get boring, right?
Or if you go river rafting, you don't know where the rapids are and how you're going to do it. And if you go surfing, you don't know exactly how the wave's going to break and all that and how big it's going to be. And so that adventure is really what life's about. And so we need to be excited. Fear is created by imagining bad things that haven't happened yet. So fantasized experiences appearing real. Everyone always says that. Someone else recently said, forget everything and run. But, but I think that if you realize that you're creating your own fear by imagining a bad thing, oh, if there's a recession, I'll lose my house. Why not go? If there was a recession, I'm going to make more money because there's going to be opportunities and we're going to be able to pay our house off faster. Zig Ziglar said, worrying is negative goal setting. And all you have to do is use that same power to think and visualize to create a positive outcome instead of a negative, and then the fear disappears.
Yeah, and a quote of yours, I believe, is in the book, is you say, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Absolutely. You know, we all live in our comfort zone. We want to be comfortable. When I was down in the rainforest a couple of years ago with the Achuar Indians, I always wanted to go to the rainforest ever since I heard.
How was it?
It was so cool. It was really cool. We got to live with the Achuar Indians, which is an indigenous tribe, which is, had not had any connection with white people from the outer world until about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And friends of mine are down now working with them to help preserve the rainforest. And I always wanted to go. And the trees are unbelievably huge. Roots are as tall as this building and go out like that. You can build a house inside the root system.
Oh my goodness.
There's army ants that are about that big, these leaf cutter ants, and you can see them just going across with all these little leaves waving. We got to swim in this river that was full of piranha, they told us later.
Oh.
But piranha don't eat you. They don't. They have a rule in the river, nothing attacks anything 6 times bigger than it is.
Wow.
And so if you are in a tide pool where there's no food and it's flooded and now it's stuck over there and you step in there, a piranha will bite you. But
The river, they're not going to.
no, not at all. We had so much fun. It was so delightful to be in that nature. So the point is, everything is an adventure, and we have to think of it that way, or we're going to be victims.
Rule number 5, understand money with Mary Kate.
In order to start attracting money into your life, you have to first have an understanding of what money is and your relationship to your finances. That sounds like such a strange statement to say, your relationship with your finances. But we all have feelings and relationships to thoughts and objects. How you feel about something determines how you can attract it into your life. Everything is energy, and in order to attract certain things into your life, you have to be an energetic match and understand your relationship to that object. Love is one of the most powerful vibrations you can tap into, so whenever possible, shift your feelings towards love. So what is your relationship to money? Be honest with yourself. Do you get nervous to check your bank account? Do you feel anxious that you don't have enough money? Do you constantly tell yourself that you can't afford things? Do you think that only lucky people deserve money? Do you think you have to work long hours at a job you hate in order to earn enough money? I used to have that last belief, and I was stuck for way too long at a job I hated, working crazy long hours to support the kind of life that I wanted to deserve. And once I shifted my mindset, I realized that none of that was worth it. Once I shifted this mindset, everything started flowing to me so much quicker and easier, and I wasn't stuck at a job that I hated anymore. I want you to write down a list of everything you feel towards money. All of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, doubts, opinions. Write it all down, get very clear, and be completely honest with yourself. Pause this video now and take as much time as you need. After you write down your belief system about money, look at specific areas at where you can improve your money mindset. For example, are you scared to check your bank account? How can you turn that around and make it into a more positive action? Can you start checking it more often and release that fear that you don't need? Can you use a positive affirmation each time you look at that statement? Can you meditate and visualize your bank account with 6 figures? Do whatever is in your power to shift your money mindset so that everything lines up to be clear and positive. By understanding your relationship with money and releasing the fear or negative feelings surrounding it, you can be open to attracting more of it into your life. How can you emit the frequency of love surrounding money? The vibrational frequency of love is so unbelievably strong that if you can tap into that power, money will flow to you at record speed. Trust me. There are so many ways to add the frequency of love into your money mindset. For example, you can visualize how you would spend that money on the people you love. You can start loving the money that you currently have. You can start generously making donations to people in need and coming from a place of love. You can make vision boards of all the things that you would treat yourself to with that money. Give yourself some self-love. You can meditate with the feeling of love while visualizing complete financial freedom. Or, one of my favorites, you can visualize your heart as a powerful magnet, strongly attracting money directly into your reality. Try out a few of these and see which one works best for you. Now that you're clear on your money mindset and infused it with the vibration of love, I want to share with you the magic formula for manifesting. This formula is something I go into more depth in my digital course, Abundance Academy, but because this formula really works, I want to share it with you. Thought has a magnetic force. Thought coupled with feelings is even stronger. Thought coupled with feelings mixed with inspired action is where manifesting occurs. Or put simply, thought plus feelings plus inspired action equals manifesting. Welcome to Manifesting Math Class. Like I said earlier, everything starts with thought and mindset. You have to be clear and understand what your thoughts are towards money before you can start to manifest it into your life. Once you are clear on your thoughts, it's time to infuse it with feelings. I suggest infusing with love because it's the most powerful frequency. But if you want to choose another feeling, feel free. Do whatever works best for you. You can try joy, excitement, happiness, comfort, peace of mind, or any feeling that you can emit at a high frequency. And this last step is one that most people miss or skip in their manifesting process. Inspired action. Inspired action is one of the most important and most overlooked steps. Taking an inspired action doesn't have to be a huge deal. It doesn't have to be this overwhelming, stressful thing, so don't worry. Inspired action can be as simple as writing a check to yourself for $100,000 as a hint to your subconscious that that's what you're trying to create. Or making a small donation to charity because you were doing it from a place of abundance. Or following that urge you had to write that blog or start that business or follow up on that email. Your intuition is always trying to communicate with you. And by taking guided, inspired actions, you are directly aligning with whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Get in touch with your intuition and see what inspired action you're guided to take. There is always an option to take an inspired action, so take advantage of it. Think of your intuition like your fairy godmother. You follow your manifesting formula of thought plus feeling, and your intuition or your fairy godmother will guide you to exactly where you need to be in order to manifest what you want. But it's up to you to follow that intuition and take that step or inspired action. With this mindset work and manifesting formula, you are well on your way to start attracting money into your life easily and effortlessly. But you have to remember that you are in charge of redirecting your negative thoughts or feelings about money when they come up, because they will come up from time to time. And just remember that you are in charge of shifting it right back to where you need to be. You need to get to the point of ignoring your current or outside circumstances and standing firm in a place of faith that you are abundant. Whenever you get a bill in the mail, pay it and be grateful that you're contributing to someone else's financial betterment. Whenever you feel stressed about finances, redirect yourself and realize how lucky you are that you have a roof over your head and clean water and people that love you. And send love out to those that aren't as fortunate. Whenever you feel like you can't afford something, this is my favorite, just go virtual shopping. Start coming from a place of financial freedom and clicking and putting in your cart all of those things you want to buy online. Pick anything you want. The sky is your limit. You don't actually have to purchase anything, but by virtually shopping and feeling that financial freedom and adding those things to your cart, you're sending a clear message to your subconscious mind that you can have that, and then it'll be on its way. Feel powerful that you have this superpower knowledge that you are consciously creating your reality. Use this power to shape your reality and banish the negative beliefs you have around money. Our society will constantly condition you that you need more of this or better things, and that you have to work really, really hard to achieve things in life. But not for you. You now have the knowledge that by shifting your mindset and taking inspired action, money will flow to you without all the bullshit. So congratulations on taking your first step towards financial freedom. Remember that you are powerful, you are worthy, and you are abundant.
And rule number 6, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is focus on the fact with Leo Gura.
Law of attraction. This is a really deep topic, but we're just going to skim the surface. But it'll still be very useful for you. Just in the next 15 minutes, you're going to get a lot. So, law of attraction, what is it? Basically, it's a fancy term for the following thing. Law of attraction, the way that I define it very simply, is that instead of focusing on the things that you do not want to happen in your life, you shift your focus and you think about the things that you do want to have happen in your life. So, what's an example of this? Well, let's come up with an example. Let's say that you're starting a business, and you're starting a new business, and it's the first time you've started a business, so it's something new that you're going into. And now, when you're starting it off, you naturally have some fears. You naturally wonder whether you're going to be able to launch this business. You naturally wonder whether you're going to be able to pay the bills. Maybe you wonder about whether you should hire some employees or not, and you have some reservations about that, and you don't know if you can pay them. And you just wonder if the whole thing is even a good idea, and maybe you're gonna risk losing a lot. Maybe you're gonna lose, and you're gonna invest some money, and you're gonna lose that. And you've got all these reservations. And so as you're building this business and you're going about your day-to-day, actually implementing it, creating it, what's gonna happen is your mind is gonna shift, and it's gonna focus on all these problems. It's gonna focus on the fact that, well, this business simply could fail. And so you're gonna be thinking about, how do I make this business not fail? Why don't I go and get another client? Maybe that'll help me not fail. Maybe I should go do this thing over here. That will help me not fail. And you're always thinking about how your business could potentially fail, and you're trying to preempt or take some sort of action against that. And basically what you're doing is you're planning against catastrophe. That's what you're doing in that situation. That is what 99% of us do in our lives. Maybe not in such a dramatic, clear-cut way as with starting a business, because not everyone starts a business, and even the people that do don't do it that often. So that's a very poignant example. But in small ways, this is happening throughout your life, right? You're focusing, for example, on the things that you don't like your boyfriend or girlfriend doing in a relationship. Maybe you don't like something very small. You don't like the fact that they pick their teeth at the dinner table, or you don't like the fact that they put their feet up on the dinner table, or just something very small like that. And you're always focusing on that, and you're saying, why does he keep doing that? Why does he keep picking his teeth at the dinner table? Why does he keep putting his feet up? And you're thinking about that, and you're focusing on, again, the thing that you do not like in your life. So this is happening everywhere in your life. And most people are going through life, and they're focusing on the things that they don't like. I don't like the traffic jams that I'm going into when I'm driving down to work. I don't like how much money I'm getting paid at work. I don't like the relationship that I'm in or some aspect of it. I don't like some aspect of my health. I don't like the fact that I might have a bad hip. I don't like the fact that I have a toothache that's bothering me. I don't like the fact that I'm overstressed with appointments and that I've got too much on my schedule right now. I don't like the fact that I can't take a vacation for another 7 months when I need one right now. So all these issues, right? And more. You've got all this coming up. But the problem is, and this is what Law of Attraction states, is that the things that you focus on, the things that you put your attention to, are the things that you end up attracting more of into your life. And so this is actually much deeper than it seems on the surface. Because what's literally happening is that you are focusing on these problems and that you are creating an emotional vibration within you. Your thoughts are then soaked in the negativity of the situation, on the challenge, on the difficulty, on the fear, on the problem. And then you take on that vibration and basically it rubs off on you. And then when you're in that kind of state of mind, well, it tends to attract those things to you and it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy effect. And this is not some new age concept. This is not some woo-woo idea that literally your thought is somehow pulling something negative towards you. Although that is literally the effect, but it's not through some weird metaphysics that this is happening, not through magic. This is happening because your thoughts generate the action that you take in your life. And so you are not going to go out there and take resourceful action. You might not take any action at all when your thoughts are soaked in all this negativity and are focusing on all the problems. Because what that's doing is it's making you anxious, it's making you insecure, it's making you fearful. And when you act from that position, your actions are feeble, they are many times self-fulfilling and catastrophic. A lot of times you'll worry about something so much that you actually take the action that will lead to that thing becoming true. It's a very, very freaky phenomenon in nature and a very freaky phenomenon of human psychology that this is actually the case. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to adopt what the law of attraction wants you to do. And the law of attraction states that since you are attracting these negative things with negative thoughts, you can attract positive things with positive thoughts. And so instead of worrying about your money situation, what you do is you think about the awesome money situation that you're going to create for yourself. Or instead of worrying about the little problem area in your relationship, you focus on the larger relationship and you focus on how great that is. Or if you want to eliminate that problem, then what you focus on is not eliminating the problem, you focus on creating something, right? It's about shifting your focus on the creation. So what do you want to create in your relationship? How about that? Why aren't you asking yourself that question? Really what this is a positive side of worry. Worry is about thinking and projecting into the future all the bad stuff that might happen. And it's about putting what if scenarios into your mind. Well, what if I get fired? What if I get abandoned? What if I fail at this business? What if I make a speech and I embarrass myself, make a fool of myself? What if I walk into the party with my fly down and people are staring at me? What if? These are like worst case scenarios. Well, here's one for you. What if instead of worrying about things in the negative, you started worrying about things in the positive? How would that look? Well, what if I go and in my job, I actually get a promotion next year? What if I start making more money because I'm providing more value? What if I start doing better at school because I'm actually studying? What if I work on my relationship and my relationship becomes really amazing, better than most relationships out there, and I really flip it around? What if I go into this party and instead of having my fly down, I walk in there and I'm the coolest guy there and everyone wants to be my friend and I make a bunch of cool friends and connections, right? It's the positive side of worry. It's about projecting positive images. Now, this is very unnatural for us to do. And this is why 99% of us are not obeying the law of attraction because we're always worrying about stuff. This is unnatural for the human brain. And what you gotta do is you gotta recondition yourself and rewire yourself by making by taking your conscious awareness and putting it on these problem areas in your life and saying, okay, I've worried about this stuff long enough. It's about time that maybe I should try this law of attraction deal and see if it's going to really pan out the way people say it is. And when you do try it, and you have to try it with faith and confidence and consistency, what you're going to find is that it really works. And the reason that it works, again, is not through some metaphysical mumbo jumbo, simply because you become confident. You have faith in your actions. You're not insecure anymore. You're excited about what you're doing because you have these positive visions of what you want to create. And basically what you're doing is you start to impose your reality on the world rather than the world's reality mesmerizing you. And when that happens, you start to feel really good, and you're able to go out there and you're actually able to work on your goals. You're able to take action on your goals. You're not procrastinating anymore. And so through that whole process, your thoughts shape your actions, and then your actions attract whatever it is that you want in your life. And that's basically law of attraction. Think about the things that you want, not the things that you don't want. Now, as simple as that sounds, you're not going to do it. It's really hard to recondition yourself. You have to be very persistent with it. But if you undertake this initiative and you say, you know what, I think there's something to this law of attraction, and I think it's about time that I try something new because I'm frustrated with the lack of results that I've been getting. And you really buy into it and you really give it a good go. Give it a good go for a month or two, where you're just constantly focusing on the things that you want to create in your life. And you're not focusing at all on the things that you're worrying about or that you typically would worry about. You're going to find that you're going to feel very good. You're going to start to develop a good mood. You're going to start to be more cheerful and happy. And you're going to get this sense of confidence. You're going to get this sense that, yeah, I own my life. I'm in control of my life. I can actually direct my life because I'm creating some positive vision, and then I'm going out there and taking action towards it. And that action seems somehow smoother, seems somehow more effortless than it was before. And you're feeling good about yourself. And you just start to notice that it's almost like magic. Things start to click. And you start to see that this is why some books or some authors or just popular culture will say that law of attraction is this metaphysical thing where it's like your thoughts are attracting things into your life. That's almost what it's like, because if you take the action component out of it, and that's actually what it becomes, is that if the quality of your thoughts are improved, then the quality of the things that you have in your life will also improve. But what some people do is they'll discount the intermediary there, which is action, because your actions are created by your thoughts. Right? Your actions don't just happen spontaneously. And there's two sides to it. There's two aspects. There's the conscious thoughts that you have and the subconscious thoughts. And really what law of attraction is really, really powerful at is working on your subconscious. Because once your subconscious starts to resonate with that feeling of confidence, that pride that you have, that sense that everything's okay in the world, that calmness, that happiness that you have, that joy, when you start creating from that, your subconscious doesn't resist anymore. You don't have those fears holding you back. You're out there, you're taking bolder action, and you're fulfilling it. You're not quitting. You're not struggling as much. It's not as much of a grind, it's more pleasant. And when that's happening, how could you not attract the things that you want? This works for everything. This will work for wealth. This will work for relationships. This will work for businesses. This will work for your health. Literally anything that you want in your life, you can attract by simply focusing on the fact that you want it rather than the fact that you don't have it.
Good morning, guys. Living, laughing, and loving our way to infinite mind wealth. I got another story I want to share. This is from one of the greatest, a hero of mine, Les Brown again. I remember watching a video a while ago, and he was doing an amazing speech as always, and he referred to an example. He was talking about this victim mentality we have, and it made me laugh the way he described a situation where there was a woman who was suggesting or saying out loud, why did this have to happen to me? Why do I have to suffer? Why is this happening to me? And then I remember Les Brown in his speech saying, why not you? Who would you suggest? And the way he said it, of course, I don't do justice to Les Brown's voice, so please look him up, try to find that clip wherever it is, but it made me laugh. I thought, it's true. We always want we don't want to be the victim, or we want to have that victim mentality. Why me? But if it's not you, it's someone else. And do we really want to hurt other people? Have a great day, everybody.
I failed lots of times. You don't learn from your successes, you learn from your failures. You get up and go at it again. So you're not a failure until you quit. Failing is not hitting the mark, but that doesn't mean you're a failure. You failed, but you don't become a failure. The only time you failure is if you quit. You don't quit. You'd have to shoot me to stop me. I mean, there's no quitting. That's not part of the deal. There's no exit strategy. You know where you're going, that's where you're going to get there. Fail a number of times. I've failed miserably. If you fail big enough, it's exhilarating. I mean, I've had some real beauties. Does that help? You just get up and get going, and don't you dare lay down. And I don't care if you blow everything you got. Listen, I lost everything I had one time, and it's so clear to me. I sat in the living room, I closed the front drapes, and I sat in the dark in a great big chair. Probably for a better part of a month. I was so despondent. I had lost. And then, I don't know what moved me, but I got moved. I went and I got 2 long-playing records. Earl Nightingale's narration, not condensed narration, his narration of the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And I put those records on and I started to play them. I got up, I opened the curtains, and I went and bought a brand new Cadillac car. I didn't have any money, but I knew the car would make me feel good when I got in it. And I went to work. That's very clear, man. That was a long time ago. Yeah. Just get up and keep going. If it's big enough, I mean, you'll grow. You don't just grow from your successes. It's the trouble that make you grow.
Need motivation?
Watch a Top 10 Rules video with the Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Bob Proctor, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, don't listen to others.
If you see a large group of people going one way and 1 or 2 going the other way, follow the 1 or 2.
Wow.
The others have never known where they're going to go. 90-some% of the population struggle all the way through life. School doesn't teach us how to take control of our life. I don't care where you go, and I don't care how long you go or how far you go in school. It does not teach us how to control ourself. We've got to get involved with self, really understand who we are. So every time you would caution you look around, you see it, it's all around you.
Right.
Everybody's telling you, you're crazy, you can't do that, you know? And when I quit the fire department to go and clean offices. Everybody thought I'd really out of my mind. In fact, I was really questioning myself at one point because I was the second person since 1934 to quit the fire department. No one quit that job and they couldn't fire you. I mean, it was like having a pension and you only worked half the time, you know? And when you were working at night, you'd sleep. I mean, it was like being retired because I was in a slow haul. If you're in a busy place, well, that's different. Downtown Toronto would not be a good place. But at any rate, I got into that and I thought, I can't stay here because they were sitting around doing nothing, wanting to play cards or play darts. And I'm thinking, I know, I got to do something. So I eventually quit and I went and started cleaning offices.
Rule number 3, focus on prosperity.
We only have one problem in the whole world, and that's ignorance. They're living in ignorance. They don't know that what they're doing is going to keep them where they are. And they keep doing it because they don't know how to change. They're overwhelmed with the debt. People are saying, I need the money. They haven't got it. They want to take their family on a vacation. They don't have the money to go. So they may borrow it and go anyway. Now they got more debt.
they have to understand that they don't have to live that way. I wrote a book called You're Born Rich. The truth is you are. Most people are just a little short of money, but you are born rich, rich in potential. Anybody can go to our site, go to bobproctor.com. You can download the book, You Were Born Rich, free. It won't cost you a cent. And chapter 2 is how much is enough. It's described very well how to get out of debt. You got to create a debt repayment program where it's all done automatically. And then you focus on prosperity. You've got to have a financial goal. You've got to work toward it. And you've got to understand that you can earn more than you're earning. And wealthy people don't have one source of income. They have more than one. I was earning money all last night while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
You can actually earn more money when you're sleeping than you can spend when you're awake.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like a cute line, but it's true. There's no end to what we can earn. If you are not getting information from someone who is already wealthy, then you're probably getting information from the wrong people. Most people ask their brother-in-law, or the guy next door, or the girl they know, how do I earn more? Hell, if they knew, they'd be earning it. They don't know. And most people talk to people that don't know. Carlyle put it very well. He said he did not believe in the collective wisdom of individual ignorance. And that's where most people are getting it, from people that don't know any more than themselves. I think you have to go. That's why these seminars are so important today.
Yeah.
People have the opportunity to go and learn. Most people won't pay to go. I tell people, listen, you invest in this, it'll probably be, borrow the money to do it. It's probably the last time you'll ever have to borrow money.
Rule number 4, write your desires down.
What would you want someone to do straight after they stop listening to this episode, as they go back into their own life after listening to you today? What do you want them to do? Who do you want them to be? Where would you like them to start?
I'd like them to ask themselves, what do I really want in this life? What do I really want? And take a pen and write it down. What do I really want in this life? They might start out, what do I love doing? I think that's where you start your purpose in life, is what do you love? I'm living my purpose. See, your purpose is why you're alive, why you get out of bed in the morning. And some people never figure that out. They never even give it any thought, when it's probably the most important question a person can ask themselves. If you start out, what do I really love doing? That's a good place to start. Do you know, I had a doctor here, probably a couple of years ago now in Phoenix. He was in a seminar and he said, he was telling me he was thinking of quitting the medical profession. I said, why are you going to quit? Well, he said, you got to put in a lot more time to earn less money today. And I said, well, I've heard that. He said, the medical profession's all messed up. And I said, well, I've heard that too. I said, why did you become a doctor? Well, he said, I love it. I said, why would you want to quit? Well, he said, because you can't earn. I said, wait a minute. I said, if you're doing what you love, if you never earned a dime, you're spending your days doing what you love to do. That's the trick of life. I said, your problem is you think you earn money by going to work. You work to earn money. You don't work to earn money. The people who earn the most money don't work at all. You earn money by providing service, but you gain satisfaction from doing what you love. And there's two forms of income. One's satisfaction, the other is money. It's a material thing. But I said, if you're not getting satisfaction from what you do, you should quit it. Because I said, that's where it comes in. That's why we should figure out what we love to do and then dedicate our life to it. I got into this business. I had been studying it for quite a while, and I had the opportunity, I already mentioned, of visiting Earl Nightingale in 1966. And I was leaving his office right at the end, and I said, Earl, what is the big deal in life? Well, he said, there isn't any big deal, Bob. He said, it's simply a matter of sitting and figuring out what you love to do and then dedicate your life to it. So the problem with most people is they never figure out what they love to do. Well, I'm telling you, I could feel the hair going up in the back of my neck. I knew exactly what I'd love to do. I would love to do what he was doing, and I wanted to do it with him. I had a very busy company at the time. We were operating in Canada, the US, and England. But I knew that I was finished doing that. I was going to come back. I was going to work with him. 2 years later, I was his vice president of sales. I wanted to do what he was doing, be in the business he was in. And that's where I made the decision. And I love it. I love what I do. Now, that's what people should be doing. What do I love to do? Then dedicate your life to it. Now, you earn money by providing service. You can earn money while you're sleeping. Just figure out how to serve people. You don't have to be there. You don't have to physically be there and do it. You can serve people while you're sleeping and get paid. And that's how you earn money. So you got to learn how to earn money. But that has got nothing to do with a life of living what you love. That's the first place. So if I was telling anybody, sit down, figure out what you love to do, and then make up your mind you're going to dedicate your life to it. What stops most people, what they love to do, they think you can't earn any money at it. That doesn't matter. Forget about the money. That's another subject. Figure out how to earn it. Go talk to people who know how to earn money. I know how to earn money. I can teach people how to earn money. But that is not the thing. It's to provide service. So the most important thing, what do I love to do? Sit down. What would I really love to do? How would I love to spend my life? That's what we should do. And unfortunately, most people never get involved in that exercise.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, develop your belief system.
See, you're a spiritual being. That's who you are. You are pure, unadulterated spirit. You're an extension, an expression of God. Whatever your concept of God is, we see God as everything. The all-knowing power, the all-powerful, all-knowing, omnipresent. And you're a spiritual, you're a spiritual expression. And as such, all knowledge is with you. You have all knowledge. You have all power. You just don't believe it. And to the degree that we believe it, we have it. And the trick of life, I see, is developing our belief system. Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. It took me 9.5 years to figure that out. I was sitting having something to eat with Val Vanderwall. He was a marvelous mentor of mine. And I had been reading the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, the Book of Mormon, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Torah. I mean, I was seriously studying all this because there's only 2 sources of reference you can go to find out about yourself. One's science and the other's theology. And they all teach you essentially the same thing. They come at it from different angles. And in everyone, everywhere, they tell you got to believe. Belief is an absolute prerequisite. If you don't believe, it ain't going to happen. Well, I'm thinking, how do you believe? I mean, I'd ask somebody, how do you believe? Well, I don't know. How do you believe? I was having something to eat with him one day in the restaurant. I can still see the 2 of us sitting there. And in idle conversation that come out, he said, our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And frequently, if we reevaluate a situation, our belief about that situation will change. Well, it was just like rockets going off in my head. I got him to repeat what he said, and I realized that's why my life had changed. I was studying this nonstop, everything I could get my hands on. So I was continually reevaluating who I was. And because I continually reevaluate, my belief kept changing, it kept changing, it kept changing. And of course, my results kept changing. My results were a reflection of my own belief. I just know that if I get an idea, I can execute that idea. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know where I'm going to get the resources, but I do know it's going to happen. That's what William James said, believe, and your belief will create the fact.
Rule number 6, learn from the best people.
I think there's a lot of people writing books that really don't understand what they're saying. Their understanding is very shallow. I think the secret to understanding how to really get to know ourselves, we have to go to people that have demonstrated by results they really know what they're talking about. Like I always say that 80% of the people that are teaching have never done what they're teaching. And if you haven't done it, I don't think you really understand it. So it's not what do you know, it's what do you do. And for years, companies were paying people based on what they thought they knew. It was gone by a degree. And the degree didn't indicate they knew anything at all. It meant they'd gathered information. But I think we have to go by what they do. I was very fortunate when I started to study. The first man that helped me, the first person that helped me was a man. And he's the one that introduced me to this book. This I've Got It Held with an Elastic Now. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he knew what he was talking about. And he said, if you do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you want. Well, I didn't believe that. But I believed he believed it. And he did. And he did know what he was talking about. So I feel I was particularly fortunate in that I met someone like that. And I think probably it was an unconscious thing in the beginning. If I followed anyone from then on, I looked what they were doing before I started to listen to them. I looked at their results before I started to pay attention to them. And that has been sort of a guiding principle in my life. I believe if you want to learn something, you have to go to someone that knows more than you do. And that's really what I've done. And I've had 5 or 6 people that I've followed over the past 60 years. It's been 60 years since I started to study this. And I followed that principle, and I think it was a good, sound principle to follow.
Rule number 7, stay calm.
If you're not calm, you're tied up in a knot, you solve nothing. Energy flows to and through us. When we're uptight, it's like putting a kink in a garden hose and wonder why the water doesn't flow freely.
Yeah.
If you want the energy to flow freely through you and get good results, you've got to be calm. So the trick is, don't let anything outside really upset you. Now, there's another side to this. If you let something outside get you excited, you're going to let something outside get you depressed. Because you're reacting to what's going on outside. So something really good happens, you get excited. Something bad happens, you're going to get depressed. That's because you're letting the outside control you. I don't think you should get excited about anything. I think you should get enthused about it. See, excitement has a polar opposite, and it's depressed. Enthusiasm doesn't have a polar opposite. Enthusiasm is in God. It comes from the Latin entheos, in God. And it just is. Just is. Neither good nor bad, just is. Everything just is in truth. You know? So it's a bit of a philosophy you got to get into, and then you train yourself to think and live that way.
Rule number 8, chase enthusiasm.
How do we keep positive and motivated in the journey of cleansing our paradigms towards our soul? How do you keep a sustained level of enthusiasm in this journey that actually requires quite a lot of profound internal work?
I think you said the right word there in enthusiasm. I think people are looking for excitement.
Yeah, very well said.
And there's quite a big difference.
Absolutely.
I've always pointed out when you see a person that gets excited when something good happens, you're going to see somebody who gets depressed when something bad happens. And there's a great lesson in that. But rather than getting excited, we should get enthused. We want to look where enthusiasm comes from. It comes from entheos, which is in spirit. And everything just is. And if we can look at it, it just is. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. We're not going to get excited. We'll get enthused. And if we look at the negative, it just is. It's not going to depress us because it just is. So I think the trick there is to understand the difference between enthusiasm and excitement. And how do you maintain the enthusiasm? I think the only way to maintain it is to continually study who you are. Never stop studying. And now, I don't think you just sit and study, do nothing else. You have to study, understand, and you have to apply it. So it all comes out in results. Now, I have found a great way to measure results is in money. You can measure it to the penny. People say happiness or health. You can't measure a person's happiness, and you cannot measure their health. You can go and you can have a checkup, and they'll say, guy's in perfect health. He walks out of the doctor's office, a bang, he drops dead. He wasn't in perfect health at all. It appeared he was. But in earning money, you provide service. But you got to control the money. You don't let the money control you. And then if you fall in love with the idea of providing service and it's in a profit-making way, you can earn a lot of money. Well, then you can put that money to work to do great things with. And that's sort of the path I'm on. And like my partner and I, we build schools over in Africa. And we do them through Cynthia Kersey out there in Los Angeles. She's the Unstoppable Foundation. And we take a lot of joy in that. We have people from the company go over and see the work that we're doing, that they're contributing to. So I think you've got to keep checking your results, and you have to keep raising your own level of awareness. And the only way to do that is to continually study. But control your life. Don't let life control you. So you're living from the inside out, which sounds very esoteric or philosophical, but it's the only way I can explain it, because that's really what you're doing.
Rule number 9, prime your imagination.
Most people use their imagination, they use it the wrong way. They imagine what won't work. They imagine something bad happening.
What should we imagine more often every day?
We should imagine you should see yourself where you want to be. You got to live there. There's a great book. You may be familiar with Stella Adler's book, The Art of Acting. Oh gosh, you got to get it. Stella Adler was a great acting teacher. She was a method acting teacher. She studied under Stanislavski, the Russian acting teacher that originated method acting. Marlon Brando wrote the foreword in her book. He was the first method actor to reach superstardom. And he wrote the foreword in her book. Now, Stella Adler never actually wrote a book. A man named Kissel took all of her teaching, all of her lessons for teaching, and he put them into a book. So when you read her book, you're going to her acting classes. And like Shakespeare said, we're all actors, the world's the stage, and that's true. Well, when you reach a goal, you can act like you're already there. It's already happened intellectually the second you think about it. It's already happened emotionally when you're emotionally involved with it. So it's only a period of time until it manifests in physical form. But because it's not in physical form, we act like we haven't got it yet. Well, so that's why most people stay stuck, because they're acting like they haven't got it yet. Or if I can't act like that, Lewis would see that I haven't got that result, he'll think I'm phony. I got to quit worrying about what Lewis thinks and start concentrating on what Bob thinks. And so you see yourself, your imagination, you got to be that person. Goethe said that, great philosopher. He said, before you can do something, you first must be something. So you've got to be it intellectually. You've got to be it emotionally. It's like Solomon says, as a person thinks in their heart, the emotional mind. Well, it's only a period of time then until it manifests physically. That's one of the first laws of the universe, is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is moving into form, always. To form, moving into form, through form, back into form again. So we cause it all to happen the way we think and the way we stay locked into ideas.
How should people be developing their imagination on a daily basis in a positive way?
Well, I think they should take time to image what they want. I have a business partner, Sandy Gallagher, who's a brilliant woman, and she rides horses, gaited horses. And she's in Kentucky right now, in big term or shows there. She images herself as a world champion. Every day, she takes the time and she sees herself as a world champion. She sees herself getting the roses, getting the whole thing. And that's the way you should do it. I think you build the image of what you want. I mean, you obviously imaged this studio before you ever built it.
Right.
I mean, everything you see here was part of the image in your mind. But everything you create twice. Once in here, once out here. You know? So you never get an original painting. You always get a duplicate. The picture's in here.
Wow.
So we have to see ourselves with what we want here. Now we've got enormous deterrent in our paradigm. We're conditioned genetically and environmentally. And that conditioning is controlling most people's lives. That's why brilliant people are broke. Brilliant people are unhappy. Brilliant people never really accomplish very much. They're absolutely brilliant, but their paradigm is controlling them. It's all about intellect. They're smart people. But like, you got to consider where we come from. A little particle of energy from mom, a little particle of energy from dad comes swimming along. That's the nucleus of us. Then that goes on for 280 days, attracting more energy until you make your debut on the planet. And then you're programmed environmentally by your environment. So everything that's going on is going right into your subconscious mind. So you come out, you're programmed genetically. We don't know how far it goes back, 4 or 5 generations possibly. Like when I was a young man, I had red hair. My mother didn't have red hair. My dad didn't have red hair. I got a brother and sister, and they don't have red hair. Because you think, well, but my mother's father and all his brothers had red hair. So sometimes it jumps a generation. That's why we look like our relatives. It's genetic conditioning. And then there's environmental conditioning. We know almost all welfare recipients are 4th, 5th generation welfare recipients. So this is passed down from generation to generation. Now, unfortunately, we're all exactly the same. We got exactly the same potential. Our spiritual DNA is perfect.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is change your perception.
Ralph Waldo Trine wrote a great book, In Tune with the Infinite. And in that book, he said, nothing is good or bad except your thinking makes it so. There's a law of life called law of polarity. That law decrees everything as an opposite. I'm inside the studio. There'd be no inside if there wasn't an outside. You couldn't have an up without a down. You couldn't have a hot without a cold. Well, he says nothing's good or bad except your thinking makes it so. The truth is everything just is. It just is. If you go and ask the theologian, where's God, what is God? He says God is. That's it. That's all they can tell you. The most astute theologian in the world, that's all they can is God is. You go and ask the scientist what energy is. Energy is. That's it. They don't even know what energy is. It is. That's it. Well, everything that happens in our life, it just is. And then our perception of it is going to dictate whether it's good or bad. If we look for the good, we're going to find it. If we look for the bad, we're going to find that. Well, we have to train ourselves. We have to program ourselves to look for the good. And you're going to find it.